If you consent to a channel reading by the symbolism of Jörmungandr, the world serpent of Norse mythology, please stay. If not, please click away. And we will be jumping right into it today. Just a little disclaimer here. I'm not a fortune teller, for I'm a Muslim witch, and my readings are for reflective purposes only. That means I will only be asking you questions and explaining the symbolism that we receive and the dragon cards we pull today for the higher good, for collective reflection and the best for all. And we begin. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. Let's see what Jörmungandr has for us today. Via the symbolism. Ooh, the Seeker. This is like literally the first card in the deck. Let's look at the symbolism here. We have this green and blue dragon in the night sky with the full moon and the mountains illuminated on the bottom. This symbolism really signifies a journey, like a shadow work journey, one that is for illumination and rising above the darkness in like the act of freedom, right? This is really the symbolism that at least I'm picking up on in this card. And I feel like Jörmungandr really wants us to ask ourselves, are we seeking the right things? Are we taking our time to face our fears, or are we like taking our fears and setting them aside and like being like, no, I'm good, like I'm uncomfortable with that, like I'm just gonna avoid it because like I'm good, you know? Or are we being like, dang, this really sucks, like there's many things that I feel like are holding me back, like I feel like I can't be free, X, Y, and Z, like this is something that I want to focus on, like where is this coming from? Why do I feel like I'm being chained down, right? Like these are the questions that we need to ask ourselves when the Seeker card comes up. And if you'll see, it is card number 0, which some signify, like just the symbolism of 0 in itself is really fascinating, because Jörmungandr is the world serpent, by the way, which is the Ouroboros eating its own tail. And that is what the number 0 is, literally in Ouroboros. And some see it as whole and complete. Others see it as nothing and empty. And somehow it is both and yet neither, right? It is potential and yet constant. It's very fascinating, right? So this number is a really important one to focus on when we are at like a rebirth stage, right? Like on being on a Seeker journey, you guys, like it's about self-rebirth over and over and over again, which is Ouroboros energy, right? Like, do you even know what an Ouroboros is? Like, are you like intimidated by Ouroboros and their symbolism of life, death, and rebirth? Like, what does the serpent eating its own tail symbolize for you personally, right? Like, these are really important to ask ourselves. And when we're working with this 0 energy, this Ouroboros energy, Jörmungandr, how can we move forward with that? Let's find out. I almost dropped the whole deck there. But here we go. Let's see. This one. Let's do this one. We have, ooh, Solar Dragon. I love this. It is looking like a bit of an Egyptian dragon, which is so, I'm obsessed with this. It literally is, first of all, number 19, but we have like the scarab beetles and the uraeus here with the snakes, the cobra heads, and the feathered wings, and then there's like some solar flames up at the top, and then here we have the solar disc on top of the dragon's head holding the 2 things that the pharaoh holds. The names of these are escaping me right now, I do apologize, but this is really powerful energy. The symbolism is totally giving you are the sun, like you illuminate your darkness. It's about being the sovereign in the shadows. And this is like very much like we're just starting, right? Like we're just starting the Seeker's journey. And, you know, this card, the Solar Dragon, really embodies that energy when it is finally completed, right? Like at the precipice of that self-discovery journey, that Seeker journey, that is when you become the Solar Dragon. You become the light, the gravitational center of your practice, of your world, your reality, of your identity, right? Like this is really important and powerful because the imagery of this like dragon is like an Egyptian dragon with the solar disk above its head signifies like power and rule and order and, you know, being illuminated. It's very powerful symbolism for the fact that you are in control, you are the sovereign, right? Like it's really important for you to understand that. And the number 19 too is really interesting because when we add 9 and 1 we get, you know, 10, which some would say is 1 and 0. But anyway, it's really fascinating, like these two cards together, like just the symbolism. They look like the progression of a journey, right, that Jörmungandr wants us to go on by seeking ourselves. That's exactly what Jörmungandr does by eating his own tail. Like he seeks himself, so that's trippy. And what's the best way we can embody this solar dragon energy at the precipice of our seeker's journey? Let's find out. Ooh, Mischief, this is great. I love this card so much. It is number 15, Mischief, and has like this, it looks like an amphitheater dragon, so a serpent with wings, and it's like red and purple with like lightning and like a foggy moon in the background. And this Mischief is really giving the imagery of the adversary, also like the interrupter, like the glitch in the matrix, the divergent is the word that's really coming up here. And it's not being afraid to break the rules, right? Like, are you afraid to break the rules? Are you afraid of stepping out of line? Are you afraid of being the adversary? Are you afraid of being painted as the villain? Are you afraid of people being afraid of you or misunderstanding you? Like, these are the questions we have to ask ourselves in order to really embody this solar, like, dragon energy. Like if you don't ask yourselves the questions like, hey, am I like happy here? Like, hey, am I like letting people's opinions like control me? Like, am I letting my fear stop me from moving in this reality? How could you ever be your own sovereign if you are? Like, you just can't. You're like literally at the beck and call of their feelings, which is something that we just don't want to touch in this lifetime. Okay, I don't want to do it today. And I'm hearing, look at the bottom of the deck for this one too. So we have fertility. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. We have a beautiful woman with a blue dragon looking like wintry. She has like snowflakes in her hair, so it looks like frost dragon energy, and like the dead tree with like flurries in the back. We also have number 3. It's a very beautiful card, like wow. And like this is what I'm hearing is the most important part of this entire seeker's journey is like when we seek ourselves, when we work to understand ourselves, when we look at our shadows and face that and aren't afraid to shine the light on that and become our own authority by embracing all of the parts of ourselves that some might not like and some might love, and loving them all equally. Ultimately, that journey is one of growth and pouring into yourself and making your heart, your being, your life, your reality fertile for new life, for a new life. You deserve a new life, okay? Like, if that's what you want. And you have to ask yourself, how am I cutting off my own fertility? How am I actively stunting my own growth? How am I denying my own evolution? And am I running away from what's actually going to bring me flight, right? So these are the cards I'm getting from this particular deck, the Imperial Dragon Oracle. And next we will be using the Smoke, Ash, and Embers. I love this. This one is created by Stephanie Burrows and illustrated by Adam O'Hellers. This is what it looks like. It's beautiful. I love this deck. It's so gorgeous. And we're gonna see today, Jörmungandr, what are the biggest obstacles at embracing ourselves? These cards are a little big for my hands. What are the obstacles we can overcome when we're trying to face our shadows, and what's really those blockages like within our life, like blocking us from being who we really are, right? Because that's something that I really love about the symbolism of the Ouroboros. It's like, yes, you're eating your own tail, but at the same time, it's like you are connected to yourself. And that's just interesting in my personal opinion. It's an interesting symbolism. We have, the Six of Wands. I love this card. We have a happy dragon on a tree stump with these bunnies and flowers and a flower necklace looking up at the butterflies. This is giving very much playful energy, youthful energy, fertility. Again, fertility is really important for some reason in this reading. I'm not sure why, but like, look at everything glowing and blooming and blossoming, and we have to ask ourselves, are you allowing yourselves to play? Are you allowing yourselves to blossom? Are you allowing yourselves to go outside and chase butterflies? Like, did you chase butterflies as a kid? Like, I've been seeing so many monarch butterflies in like my area where I live recently. It's just been making my day. I love monarch butterflies. Like, butterflies are so important in my practice. I don't know if I've talked about it much, but butterflies are so critical in my practice. And seeing a dragon with a butterfly when I literally love working with butterfly dragons is just something that I really want to stress on you guys. Like, you have to flutter, all right? Like, you have to flutter through life sometimes. Ask yourself, what does it mean to flutter to you? What kind of emotions does like a butterflutter like evoke in you? Like, what do you associate with butterflies? What do you associate with bunnies? What do you associate with dandelions? Like, do these things feel childish and girly and immature, or do you see the hidden wisdom within embracing your desire to run around and play and flutter and bloom? It's so important to bloom. That's the only reason why we have the earth that we do. If nothing bloomed, this would be a place of no life. Where are you sacrificing your oxygen, your joy in that sense, cutting off your own growth? Do you want that for yourself? I don't think you want that for yourself. I don't want that for myself. But let's see, how Jörmungandr, how can we bloom? How can we really bloom, right? Let's see. We pulled the Two of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, these cards are so precious. Like, look at, again, we have the bunnies everywhere. We have the one nestled here. Oh my gosh, just bumping around, one on the head. And I love the leaf, like the leaves on the head of this dragon, and how even the like wings look like leaves. This is such a beautiful, beautiful card. And then we have, of course, the two pentacle discs in the center of the card, representing that in the depths of the woods, right, in the hollows, that's where the hearth is. That is where the abundance is. That is where the currency is. That is where the joy is. That is where the bouncing bunnies are. I don't know why, but bouncing bunnies is like really important too. And are you allowing yourself to sit in the still woods and enjoy the bouncing bunnies, surrendering to the fact that everything that is meant for you will always be for you? Like, the money you make, the provisions you get, like the, job opportunities, and even like relationships, right? Like, all of that is like a blessing and a provision, and no one can take what is meant for us, right? Like, no matter what you believe in, like God, universe, goddesses, whatever, right? Like, even nothing, like, ultimately, if you choose to see your reality, that everything is just as it's meant to be, that's when you start playing with the bouncing bunnies. Are you in a position in your life where you are able to look at your life and say, everything is just as it's meant to be? Are you there yet? Because if you're not there yet, I think Jörmungandr wants us to ask ourselves, why aren't we there yet? At least that's what I'm getting from that card. And lastly, this one also fell out of the deck, which is just beautiful. We have the King of Cups here, which, look at this cute little like seahorse, water nymph, dragon, frog thing. I love this. And then we have like a little scepter here in their like finned fluke tail. We have a like goblet, I think, or a chalice, you could say, and a couple fishies with the clouds in the back and the waves, of course. But here we go, my friend. It's really important to understand that the imagery of this is at a threshold, right? Like, many people might not think that this is a threshold, but between like the ocean and the skies and like the breach of the surface of the waves, that is a threshold between two different realities. It just is, right? And the symbolism of sitting on a rock, particularly the Little Mermaid comes to mind here. For those of you who know, when Ariel gets up on the rock and she pushes up with her arms, and you see her tail fluke in the back and the waves like crash behind her. It represents being at a threshold of destiny sometimes, a threshold of purpose, of calling. And we see that also within the Little Mermaid too, but especially we see this within the imagery of this card. We see the dragon looking down at the water, knowing that this is where this dragon comes from, but you see the sky glowing peacefully, beautiful, brilliant in the background. And the fishes are all like, the fishies are like all like facing the sky and jumping upward, which to me symbolizes like you rising to your power, you realizing where you come from, but also know where you're going, is just kind of the symbolism that I'm seeing in this card here. And our emotions can often be the oceans we look down upon when we have a bright, beautiful day behind us. But we have to ask ourselves, when our emotions are heavy, do we choose to wallow in them, or do we allow ourselves to breach that threshold and still live our lives? Because if you don't still live your lives, breaching that threshold, regardless of the struggles you face, and you deny yourself your life, like, is that something that you're proud of? Is that something that feels good? Is that something that just happens because you're afraid and you want to feel safe? Because these are all valid questions to have. Do you know what I mean? And that's pretty much what I'm getting from the Smoke, is it called Smoke, Ash, and Ember, I believe? Smoke, Ash, and Embers Tarot. It's such a beautiful card. And lastly, before we get out of here for today, we are going to be using the Guide to the Dragon Runes by L.V. Blomgren, the Draconic Vulva. This is what they look like, beautiful cards, and this is one of my favorite decks. And Jörmungandr, what are some messages we need to know and focus on for today moving forward? Let's see what we got here. We got a couple cards here, but we got some really good ones, so let's go through them one by one, I think. First we have Reido, I think is how you pronounce it, and it is the journey of life, movement, evolution, destiny, travel, and honorably keep your own counsel. Work on what is preventing you from moving forward. And again, it really just feels like Jörmungandr is asking us, are you taking that time for self-reflection? Are you understanding where you are, who you are, and where you're going and where you're coming from? And do you remember your roots as much as you remember your wings? And it's about that ascension, right? Like, I'm hearing, are you going through an awakening to your draconic essence? This is something that can be really difficult to go through, especially when you don't really know what that means and you're not really sure why you're drawn to dragons and why you might even feel like a dragon, but you know that it's gonna always be a part of you, right? Like, we have to ask of ourselves, what's the journey of life that I want? Like, what movement do I need to take? What is the initiation that I need to go moving forward? And Jörmungandr really wants us, I think, to get in a deep state of like self-reflection and ask ourselves while we're seeking these things, like, who the fuck am I? And like, where am I going? Like, why am I afraid of my own tail? Oh, that's spicy, isn't it? And then next we have Kagos, which is purity and taint, balance, neutrality, indecision, calm, and forced peace. Yeah. So this is pretty much asking us, why are we avoiding sitting in stillness and asking ourselves, which decision are we going to make? Why are we avoiding the crossroads that we find ourselves at? Because when we avoid that crossroads, right, it's like you don't get the payoff of being who you are when you avoid the crossroads, right? And we have to really push ourselves sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't like doing things that I don't like doing as much as you don't like doing things you don't like doing. But some of the things that we don't like doing are good for us, right? Like, I personally don't like the sensation of brushing my teeth, but it's really, really good for everybody to do this. Like, it might be a neurodivergent thing, but you got to do it, right? Like, I know a lot of people really hate the texture of like chewing food, but you got to eat. Do you know what I mean? Like, these things, you don't like them, but they're good for you. You know, like, it's really important that we remember these things. And that's how we get my favorite dragon rune, which is the Drakini, the Dragon Queen, the rune of Tiamat, inspiration, control, willpower, and initiative duality. So yeah, this is Tiamat's dragon rune, my favorite, of course. And it pretty much symbolizes you and your full power, authority, making decisions, and choosing your destiny, right? Like, we also have, you know, inspiration. We can feel inspired and feel out of control by this inspiration, feel like we can't control our trajectory of when we create things out of inspiration. But when we focus on this, like, indecision, this peace that we need in order to, in order to truly embrace who we are and truly embrace that path, that journey for us, what actually ends up happening, my darlings, is we're faced with the ultimate question of all. Am I ready? Jörmungandr asks, am I even ready to go? Am I even ready to go? Sometimes we have to lose control to gain control. It's a paradox. Sit with it. Sit with it and think about how that might work out. Because the second that you let go, everything just is. And then when you just focus on being grateful for that, it's just all good. It's just all an opportunity. The good, the bad, the ugly, the best, right? Are you trying to avoid parts of the spectrum of your experience? Because that's an attempt at controlling your reality when it actively makes you lose control of yourself. When we attempt to control our reality, we actively lose control of ourselves. That's the paradox, right? Like, when we actively stop trying to control everything, that's when we become the person most in control of ourselves. Like, these are things that are embodied by the Ouroboros, right? It's like paradox, okay? Like, we need to like sit with this. And lastly, we have Ra, water, the rune of ocean, deep, clan, hearing, curiosity, meditation, patience, persistence, emotion, and serenity. Yeah. Feeling your emotions brings peace and serenity. I don't know why people don't understand that. Like, and helping people feel their emotions and go through these conflicts and go through these moments of lack of control, lack of clarity, chaos, and ultimate just mystery, truly. Like, you just don't know where you're gonna end up sometimes. And like, going through that, like, I need people to understand, is really scary in ways that many people just don't acknowledge. And when we work with dragons, like, or deities like Jörmungandr, we have to reckon with our shadow. We have to reckon with our chaos. We have to reckon with where we're afraid and where we're weak and where we're small, and we have to make it right. Have to make it right. But before I go, I'll leave you with this. Do you even feel like it's in your power to make it right? Do you feel like you even have that ability? Do you underestimate how powerful your decisions are at shaping reality? It doesn't matter who you believe in, what you believe in. Your decisions every day ultimately lead to your legacy and your destiny. Who are you choosing to be every day and every single moment, no matter what happens? Are you choosing to face the hard things today, to have peace tomorrow? Or are you choosing fun today, to let it pile all up and destroy you tomorrow? Or are you just doing your best? Or do you not really care? Because the answer to that will really tell you where you're at in life. It'll tell you if you're here or there. It'll tell you if you're kind of outside of yourself or how grounded you really are. So I'll ask you one more time. Are you ready? Jörmungandr asks us today, are we ready? And thank you so much for tuning in for today's reading. I really appreciated you spending some of your day with me today, because these are kind of new and kind of fun though, but I'm having so much fun reading for you guys, and please know that like I'll never ever message you for a reading, so please don't get scammed, okay? I will never like advertise myself in your comment sections for like readings or whatever, so please don't get scammed. If you want to get a reading from me, the only way to book a reading with me is via my Etsy over on the Hatchling Hollow. You can get a reading over there, and I am more than happy to help you out. But other than that, don't get scammed, please. Anyway, if you're new here, assalamu alaikum, merry meet, and welcome back to your daily dose of DragonFaether. My name is Azura DragonFaether, the Draconic Priestess. This is your double daily dose, by the way, and I've been working with dragons since the 90s, here to bring you my messages from my journeys with them, walking with them for nearly 30 years. And I would love to have you join us in the Hatchling Clan Discord server if you have not already. It's a free community for you to enjoy if you love dragons, and if you are a dragonkin, a dragon witch, a dragon soul, a draconian, dragonfae, all of it. We're just super excited to have you over there. But anyway, I'm just a girl who follows her dragons, and I will see you at noon today for your system of the 30 days of dragon paths. We're gonna cover Draconic Wicca today, so I'll see you very soon. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky. Oh, geeky, cheeky, and freaky! We'll have these. But anyway, good office, blessed be, and Amin. Please follow me so we don't get lost. Yeah.